Well, I'm super excited to have everybody here today. Today, Deb's going to be leading the show. We're going through her slide deck here, and we're going to be really just talking about marketing and marketing in a way that really streamlines your funnel, is extremely intentional. I think this is where the land investing market is, or rather industry, has kind of it started to point its arrow, right? Like we've come from a place where you can send a marketing and oops, I got a deal, right? But as time has gone on, it's become more and more intentional. And I'm really excited to see, this, Michael, good to see you. It's really good to see that, Khaled, that this market has become something where we do need to be intentional. I mean, it was fun. I sent out, my first deal came from 75 letters. You can't make that up, right? 75 letters and boom, it proved itself pretty quickly to me. But the funny thing,
when was that?
The 2023.
I was going to say, you just don't hear that anymore, but.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is that nobody expected to get a deal from 75 letter or 100 letters or whatever it might be. But as time has gone on, the deals that you do get from that volume are just not the good deals, right? They're the deals that are bad properties or sellers who have something tied up in title and they just can't get rid of it. And so they're trying their hardest to. And it's unfortunate. There's folks out there who will kind of go the extra mile to try and lock those up and sell them. But a lot of the great deals come from intentionality. Numbers is a huge thing in this business, but also just making sure that the seller you're reaching out to actually knows that you want their property, not just a random letter. Because I think a lot of folks that I've spoken to, even just recently on the phone, just sellers, they don't know. They have their guard up, right? It could be a scam. You're going to have to prove yourself. Where's your website? Where's your proof? Who else have you worked with? And there are some, which I think we all know, that are like, I want to meet in person. If I can't meet you in person, I don't know that you're real. Can't prove it. So there's a lot of changes happening in this business, but the beautiful thing is being intentional with our marketing, especially through Rocket Print and mail, is it's leading us in the right direction.
Yeah, you said an important thing, and that is, it's a numbers game too. It doesn't mean you can't send 75 and get a deal or even a good deal. It just means you hit the lotto because, right now we were talking about this the other day. We're seeing on average, and of course there's a lot of things that can change this number, but on average it takes about 3,500 to 4,000 letters to get a deal. So if you send 75 and get a really good deal, it's equivalent to hitting the lottery. You just happen to send someone who that day or that week had something change in their life and you were the lucky winner. So,
right. This business is all about timing and there's a little bit of luck involved. And the beautiful thing is, as a lot of people enter and leave this, sector of the real estate market, if you will, it's really one thing that I always come back to, which is everybody here who might be marketing to the same, let's just say everyone markets to the same guy. There's going to be time where he's interested in selling, right? And whenever he breaks, one of us is going to benefit from it. And it's just a matter of time. So the timing might not always be on your side with that one person, but the more numbers you do, the more people, right, that you'll line up with their time frame. And so that's the whole premise of this business. And I think the cool thing is you can break through that barrier of timing. People who know they want to sell, they just don't know how, or they feel like they're overwhelmed, or maybe they have an unrealistic idea in their head, or maybe everyone who's reaching out just feels a scammy. Like you have that opportunity with intentionality, whether it's on the targeting side or the marketing itself or the rapport that you build afterwards. That intentionality is going to go a long way in making sure that you're the person they end up wanting to work with. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk a lot about today, because traditionally land investing was letters, until probably 3-4 years ago. That's all people did. The issue with the letters is that you have to be sending them more frequently to stay in front of them. So you need to fill in the gaps with other platforms, with other methods of being in front of people, because you're so right about that. I would call it a trigger product, meaning people get your letter, they're interested, but not until something changes do they really need you, and you need to be still in front of them, or your competition is going to send a letter that day and take that person that you warmed up. So that's a lot of what we're talking about, is getting outside of traditional mail only and ways to follow up and be in front of those people in between mailings. Gosh, I unintentionally got in the land business as far as marketing about 10 years ago. And then I got really deep into it about 9 years ago. And, then you could send a letter once a year and get just deals like crazy. And as of late, more and more, as more people enter into the space and there's more competition, you just need to mail more frequently, because even if they hang on to it, now they've gotten more letters since yours has came. So I'm seeing actually people mailing to a list about every 3 months now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think remarketing is extremely important, and also retargeting with different like marketing channels. But I think that's the beauty of Land Insights plus Rocket Print Mail, where in Land Insights you can find those markets that really are not hit as often, and then you can take your strategy with Rocket Print Mail and make sure that owner knows, hey, that's not just some random guy always marketing to me. That's Ari, and he wants to buy my property. He really wants to buy it. He's called me. He's mailed to me. He's texted me. Like, he wants to buy it, and the more so he does that, the more I want to sell to him. And I think that's an ever-growing aspect of this business, is like this multi-channel marketing. So I think it's the pinnacle of like just kind of, what do they call it? Omnipresence.
Yeah. Exactly. So we can get started here. We just talk about that a lot of people burn a lot of money on marketing, and I'm going to give you some tips of things you can do that don't even cost anything, and then just talk more about different ways to be on different marketing channels and networks, and the actual stats of people that do it versus people that don't, and how you can see it affect your marketing, and how the consumer perceives it. Anyway, you know what? I have that. I can't seem to get that thing off my.
What are you looking to get off?
That transparent slider thing you put on. I can't see.
Oh, I think you'll have to click it on your.
I did, and now it's gone. Okay. Perfect. So that's all I was saying, is that, spending a lot of money to generate leads. We're going to talk about ways to not have to spend more, but maybe reallocate it and spend it smarter, and to be able to get out. And this is really important too. If you start using Land Insights and you're getting more viable leads, you don't need to mail as much. So reallocate that marketing to stay in front of those people so you can close more of them. The one thing I want to talk about, and I know it might sound crazy, but you need to have a website. You'd be surprised at how many people I talk to that don't have a website. So it's just part of being reputable and having a brand. You want to have a brand. You want to be able to put that repetition out there with the brand so people identify with you. There's a mentor in the space that says don't have a website, because then they'll go to the website and not call you. Mm-hmm. That's craziness. That's just craziness, because this day and age, people want to just what Ari was saying, is they want to look and find out that you're a real person, and that's one step. If you don't have a website, what's going to happen? If they have your letter and they start Googling, trying your name, your company name, trying different things, guess what? Someone else is going to capture your lead. Someone who has pay-per-click, someone who has really good Google AdWords, those types of things. So you're just not giving them your website so they can go there directly is really a mistake. So it's something that's really, really important, is to have a website.
And I'll add one thing to that, Deb. There's really no excuse to not have a website these days. And I'm not talking financially either. I mean, yes, you can pay someone $100 to $300 to whip something up. You can also do it yourself, but the time constraint and the time to learn it might not be worth it for you. If you already know, great. But the thing that we have now is AI. And there are so many tools here that now, I'm not going to name drop any AI tools, but you can just create a tool or a website with AI, and then buy a domain for like $5 or whatever, whatever cost that'll be for your land business's domain, and then just assign the website to that domain after AI builds it. It's exceptionally easy, and yeah, that'll take some time to learn once, but when you do it, it's basically just telling a tool like a large language model what to do, and the growth on AI. I'm gonna probably come back to recommending AI for a lot of tasks on this webinar.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and we create templated websites. We can do extensive custom websites. They can be very expensive though. So I mean, if you have a resource that you can build one. The other thing is, don't put it off. You can always throw up a landing page, and landing pages can have a capture form, kind of like what you see here. So, you really want to have something there, and landing pages can be very beneficial as far as just having some really important content, like about who you are and facts that will help. And then to get more information, the capture form. And I think I have a slide on it, but the capture form, that's another really cool thing. Actually, it was on this one. We have a tool, and you could probably set it up yourself too, to do auto email drips to people that go to the capture form. So once they put in their information, because we're big on, and there's big statistics about, if you start asking for too much information on a capture form, people will shy away or they won't complete it. So if you ever visited any of our landing pages, the first thing is we just want your email address. And then you click it, and then you go to the next, and we ask for more information for something else. So we kind of get more information as you click through. But the first thing is we want to just get your email, because automatically then, and I'm sure you've experienced it, if you, again, maybe not, because I have a different filter on the land people, but we send series of email drips, to these people. You have a very specific target, so you can make those drips compelling so that they respond. But that's something that you can automate. You can set up, we do them too. If you want help, someone writing a series of, we say 3 minimum. We have packages of 3 to 12. But again, it's something that you honestly should be able to do yourself, but it's something you should be doing. You should be doing some kind of follow-up to anyone that was interested enough to go to the website and put their email address in.
Yeah, I think capturing that information it's crucial. I mean, some of my earliest deals just came from website leads, landing page leads, and it's just, some people are going to feel like they're working with a company at that point. So yeah, I didn't even realize to the extent that you offer those services. So that's fantastic. Do you? Yeah, I'm gonna push pause on my questions because I know they're going to get answered. But that's exciting, and I think that's probably the best thing you could do is legitimize yourself, if that's a word, before getting into this business, right? Some people say do it all in your personal name, don't create an LLC. I think the issue is, as we've become more sophisticated and as sellers have, they're not, I mean, there's so much risk in working under your personal name. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. So.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too. Yeah, and then as far as, the capture form, there's a lot of really cool things you guys can do to capture more information. When you get their website, then the next could be, would you like to hear what your property value is? And then you can ask them to put an ID number in, or something that's going to link you back to the lead, so you have all the contact information. So there's just really, I know someone who does free property evaluations, but there's different things you can do in exchange that are going to get them to go deeper in and put more information. But it's just really, when you ask for only an email, you get a lot. You'll get a lot. And then when they click it, it'll go to the next screen, which will ask for more information to get a more comprehensive, whatever it is you're offering. And you'd be surprised how many people will do that as well.
Yeah, that's. I think that's really important to touch on.
Yeah, and this was just thrown in here. Just we have a lot of a la carte different things and different types of websites. Like Ari said, now you can really do them yourself with AI, and there's other companies out there that I think Carrot, that's all they do are websites. Yeah, and it's super, like, you can build them yourself, and so it's super cost effective.
I mean, I'm really talking about makeshift, like, if you don't have anything, get something.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good to know that Rocket Print Mail has some like robust packages.
Yeah.
There's some things that as someone who's not tech savvy when it comes to building a website, there's just some things you don't know how to build or how to put in there.
Yeah, and that's interesting you said that, because back to the mentor that was out there saying don't put your website, I try to pull the string a little harder on that with them one-on-one, like, why are you telling people this? And when it really came down to it, he said people were building really bad ones, and he said it was turning people off. So rather than have his students having a website that was bad, and I'm like, well, that's not the answer. The answer is you got to give them resources so they can get something that's professional and will work for them and is very cost effective. So there are things out there and there are tools that will help you build one. So I it's just that isn't really, that's not the excuse to not have one. The excuse to not have one, there isn't one really. The next thing that we offer, and this is super cool, it's called Website to Mailbox. And I just wanted everybody aware of this because Ari, you just said that you've gotten a few leads off your web traffic lately. This is something where when someone goes to your website and leaves, but they didn't fill out the form or anything, this actually automatically sends a postcard to them. And the reason we do a postcard is because we can do first class postcard rate, and they get there in like 2 days. So they visit your website and they literally within 2 to 3 days have a postcard from you in their hands.
Yeah, it's huge.
So now someone who was interested enough to go snoop around but didn't leave any information is going to get a second touch of a tangible item marketing piece from you. So this is really amazing, and it's super affordable. The most expensive we do it in it's a renewable, it's automatically renewable subscription. So like if you start out with 150 cards, when we mail the last one, it automatically loads another 150 for you. And if you do that super low quantity, they're more expensive. And they run about $1.76 a piece. So you're looking at about a $270 upfront cost.
Yeah.
But you think of that compared to now someone who was a warm lead and came in, and they do get much more affordable. We base it on what your website traffic is to try to keep you so that they're going out and you're never running out. But if you have more website traffic, the price goes down considerably when you get into more like 1,000 or 2,000, but at 150. But these are just really great. A couple things about them. There are privacy laws around this, so we can't give you the list of the people we mailed them to. The other thing is there's a competitor out there that does these as well. It took us 2 years to develop this, and we developed it 100% in-house. And the difference between us and them is we really only match 30 to 40% of the people that go to your website, but our matches are 98%, meaning if we identify you and match you, it's deliverable. Our competitors are kind of the opposite. They're matching like at over 90%, but only like 20% of them are getting delivered. So that's what took us so long to really develop this, because we wanted to make sure that the person that went to your website is really the person getting the card. So this is just another way to follow up on someone that was interested enough to go to your website.
Yeah. No, I think that's really important to touch on. Even the cost up front, sometimes can steer you in the other direction. But when you realize that these are fairly warm leads that really do want to sell, and they were interested enough to come and find out information and choose you over just typing how do I sell my land, because you sent them a mailer or whatever it might be. This is highly this is high leverage. We talk about, and there's some things going around the land investing community of like selling or sending cookies to owners or leads that have fallen off. And, it's funny because that is incredibly intentional. It makes people feel, oh my gosh, he's not targeting someone, right? He's just reaching out to me. He wants to invest in me and say thank you for, potentially working with me. It's the same concept here. How many people are actually doing this? I haven't heard of anyone doing this, to be fair, but I think this is a great way to kind of put an intentional touch into your marketing. I also think the 80-20 rule applies, right? If we're able to connect with all of those people that we're sending out to, we're getting all of our value from, just a nominal amount of that list. Even if one lead comes through, like that turns into a deal. I mean, the ROI on that is, it's like 2,000, right? 2,000 times the investment of $1.70. So I love that.
Yeah, that was the next, and I think the next slide is a case study, but that's the next thing too is, when you have big ticket items like land or even roofers, people that have larger dollar valued items that they're exchanging, it only takes one to get an amazing result. I mean, if you mail 250 of these and you get a deal,
yeah, it's
something else. So this is one, and it is for a real estate investor, not a land investor, but I had this one, so I wanted to show it. He sent these, and he sent 111. Within the first 111, he got a $70,000 deal. Yeah. So that kind of shows the impact it can have. And land and houses are somewhat parallel. They're very different, but they are somewhat parallel as far as, when you're buying distressed homes or you're buying vacant land. A lot of times, some of those pain points or buttons for the buyers are the same. So the fact that they went to maybe they got your letter 3 months ago and now they went to your website, that's why this is so important, because they can go to your website at a later time and now you can be proactive or at least reactive on the fact that they're reached again and you didn't know it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. Oh, 10,000. I love that. 10,000%. That's exactly what I was thinking. 70,000 is a great case study.
Yeah. That's like when we talk internally, we're like, why doesn't everybody do this? Yeah. And I do have some land clients that have been doing it and they're doing well with it.
Yeah.
They're doing well with it. So, and then the majority of this is going to be about our land investing platinum or land investing online product, which is a multi-channel marketing tool that we have. We've had this, for some of you that are listening, you might think, oh, I did that before. We've had it in different variations or upgrades over the last 7 years. This is I think the 5th. And what happened was when we first got into land and we did everywhere small business, it was called, and we used it for land, we identified right away that there were just things that didn't work for it. And so then we did another generation of it, and then we did another. But now we're into the last generation had pay-per-click. And what we found with pay-per-click, while it's really effective, it wasn't doing what we wanted it to do, or the clients, you guys wanted it to do, because the number one concern or thing that people wanted changed was that people that weren't on their list were Googling and hitting the pay-per-click and generating a lead. And you guys use, just like the tools that you're using with Land Insights, you're eliminating a lot of leads because you don't want flood water, flood zone. You don't want all those things. So what was happening is the pay-per-click was generating, because those people never get offered anything, or they don't get offered anything very, very often. So what it was doing was generating these leads from people that were intentionally taken off the list. And so what we did was, with this newest version that's amazing, is we took the pay-per-click off. We don't have pay-per-click built into here anymore. It was very costly too in comparison to like the Google platforms that we use. So we're getting a lot more bang for our buck. But what we did was we found a way to identify the people on your list up front. So we can start displaying ads whenever you want. Usually what we do is if you're going live, we'll make it go live the day you mail, because it takes 5 to 14 days if you're doing standard for it to get there. So they start seeing your ads online.
Oh, wow.
Because now we're identifying everyone. With the old version, the person had to actually go to your website to get identified. Yep, it was retargeting. Okay. So when we still have that built in there, but right now you don't have to retarget. So you don't have everyone on the list, with one very, very small exception, and that is, some people have PO boxes, and we can't identify the people with the PO boxes. So that is the really cool new thing about this, is that we can actually target everyone on the list up front, and so you're getting to you're staying in front of those people on a daily basis that are on your list, and no one else. And what we see is multi-channel campaigns are going to give you 118% lift in your response.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah,
that is. So I see there. That was on that last slide. That was Facebook. You have Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you target on here? So you have Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Gmail. You're just getting them everywhere.
Yeah. That's our thing. Is we like to see people on a minimum of 5 channels, so at least 4 different plus your mail. I can talk about this now too, but the other really cool thing about this is you do not have to be mailing to do it. We highly recommend, and I think there's a slide that gives you that metric, but it's way more effective if you actually send in a piece of mail and then do this in conjunction with it. It still works really well without mail. Where we're seeing people using it more is like in Georgia, where the mail has, let's just be honest, who's opening a letter that has some big disclaimer like this isn't the real value, caution, that's not what it says, but you know what I mean. So now what we're doing is people are pulling lists, and we're doing this targeting. Sometimes we're doing it in conjunction with the postcard, even though postcards have a lower ROI than a letter for land. At least they get something physical, and with the postcard you can just have the one disclaimer on the address side, so you can at least put some valuable information without putting a price offer maybe, and it doesn't look so bad. But this is really, and then I also have a group that's using it. They're having issues with compliance with texting and cold calling in a few states, so they're starting to replace that with this, because right now there's no compliance on who we can mail this to and who we can target with this and who we can't. Believe me, there are categories you can't do this with, but land is not one of them. So so it's just a really great tool to be able to get more impressions, get more people seeing you. Brand recall. You were talking about branding earlier, and this is the prime example that it improves 4.5 times when they're exposed to multiple messages. So instead of just getting a letter and that's that, or getting a letter and getting one phone call, this way, this is actually engaging on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So on all those different platforms within them, your prospect is seeing them on at least one of them a day usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is the epitome of what I was talking about earlier, where we're all kind of helping each other. It's a timing thing. Well, you've put yourself at the forefront of their mind when the timing is right. It's almost like dominating someone's mind a little bit when it comes to selling their land. I think this is extremely valuable. Not to mention, it's not retargeting. You can do this out of the gate, right? And maybe there's low-hanging fruit that you can get before even marketing through mail. I know it's recommended, but there's always going to be folks on a budget. That's pretty cool to think. You don't even have to send out mail to maybe get a deal through Rocket Print and Mail. So that's awesome. I did notice we had some questions in the chat too. Liza, so the automated email drip, I mean, that would likely be either through Rocket Print Mail, or if you're going to do that yourself, some sort of zap from your website to your email or your CRM where you're sending a drip. Hopefully that doesn't take you too much time. Mark, you have a couple questions. I'm gonna leave the address of the visitor. I'm sure that is proprietary to some degree from the Rocket Print Mail team, so I'm gonna leave that one unanswered. But as for custom postcards, yes, I know that for a fact. Deb, you do shoot out custom postcards, is that right?
Yeah. Now for the web to mailbox, those are static, and that's intentional because of the privacy laws.
Got it.
It doesn't say their, I mean, it has addressed to their name, but it doesn't specifically say their name or anything about their property. But yeah, we do personalized postcards. Okay. Absolutely. And
we can customize those.
What?
We can customize those for those web to mail. Like that's fully customizable. Is that right?
Well, those are static, so you have a design on file and it just goes.
Yeah. Perfect. That's what I mean. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about branding, right? Like you want someone to recognize that so quickly. Not just We Buy Land, but this is, Ari Buys Acres.
So it's a static card, and you can actually have two campaigns going. So like if you have two different websites, you can have a design that's designed for acquiring land, and you can have one that's designed for, selling, reselling. So you can have two totally different designs on two different websites. So if they come to those, they're getting something specific to what you drove them to.
Yeah, I think that's really important as well. A lot of people don't think about it, but disposition, as the market changes as well, disposition gets harder or more interesting. How do we get deals for lower, or find markets where deals are more plentiful, and how does the disposition process look for that? Well, I've talked to 4 or 5 people in the last couple of months who are just saying I have a lot of deals sitting on the market. This is a great way to retarget those folks, right? Point them towards a website and then retarget the buyer leads. I don't think anybody's doing that, so I think that's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll even say, well, someone will say, well, I don't have that many leads for this month. I said, forget that. We'll just use the last 2 lists. It doesn't have to be like you mailed them today. Right. I think as long as you have something out there in their hands, and again, you don't have to mail. We will sell this a la carte, so you don't have to mail either. Like I said earlier, we just know that the results are stronger if you couple the two. But it doesn't have to be in real time. Like it could be something you mailed to 3 months ago. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, I can't even imagine how many touches you'll get, how many inbound leads you'll get from, already kind of warmed up folks. Not to say everybody opens your letter, but I think generally people will remember names, especially if it's something that stands out, which I would recommend you try and do. But I think this is a great way to get in front of folks.
Yeah. The other interesting thing about this is that you're going to capture more of your competitors' leads, because let's just say you sent a letter 3 months ago and you've been doing these ads, and now all of a sudden I have something. My daughter tells me she's getting married, and I'm like, what? How much money do you need? And I'll think, you know what? I should sell that land, and I get a mailer from someone else, but I'm seeing your online ads, and I click through. So the mail from the competitors actually drives more action for the people online.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. Yeah.
I like that. I think also, mail is one of the most trusted sources of marketing, but I think it's hard when you have so many folks reaching out at times. It comes down to design, which we talked about some of these things, right? Design and the copy. And so all of that will help. But what if the person never even gets to opening your letter? Now, like putting this in front of them, they're going to think twice when they see that next letter or whatever it might be. But regardless, they're going to come back here. It feels official. It feels professional. And it's easy to engage with. An ad is so much easier to engage with, especially when, people are kind of on endlessly doom scrolling on their phone through social media. And, I think that, the folks that we're generally targeting will have a Facebook account. Not sure about, every single thing that they're going to be doing online, but absolutely Facebook, Gmail. I think you even allow for it to go to some TV providers, right? Or streaming providers.
That's another product, but we do offer that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how many people you'll capture. So
yeah. And often I hear also, oh, my clientele are older people. You got to get over that too, because there still are, like my father, he would never go online. He would never do any of that. But I'm probably your prime age of those people, and I buy too much stuff online when I'm not even looking for something,
Yeah.
So they said the average Facebook user and the largest growing percent of Facebook are over age 55. Okay. So if you think that your client segment or your market segment isn't going to reach them, yeah, there's a small little percentage of them, but it definitely is.
A lot of people who moved with the times.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here.
And then you also see a higher purchase rate. So 287% see a higher purchase rate when they add these ads as well. And then Ari, I think you have a link to this video. It's just a short, 30-second clip about the product that we did. It just gives you a little bit more visual of how it works.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up really quick and share my screen. And I'm going to have to try and share my audio as well. So let me go ahead and do that.
Yeah, it's not necessary. We can't, like I said, it's just a little 30-second kind of showing everything I just talked about.
Well, why don't we talk through it too while we're looking at this?
Yeah.
I think it shows visible mail mixed with visual ads.
Yeah. That's just you call us and we set you up with the product.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then you print and mail your letter.
Mm-hmm, yeah, all the.
Yeah. And then they receive the letter, and then they're going to start seeing you on these multiple platforms on a daily basis. Yeah. And we target them, on the list. And then it's YouTube, Gmail, Facebook. It was just a short little video that we have internally.
Yeah,
and I can share that. I can share that with anyone. I also have some longer 30-minute videos that go into depth about it. I usually just show that short little one.
Yeah, Leanne, there's no audio on the video. We're just speaking through it. But yeah. I'll add it in here as well if that's okay. The link. Yeah, that's awesome. I honestly, I'm thinking about how effective it is to be targeting people who are on the Google network, because most people, I'd say, most people are using at least one aspect, right? We'll talk about the divide between iPhone and Android. Well, Android's run by Google. Yes, I'll go ahead and. Yvonne is actually asking for a 30-minute video. I'm not sure which one you're asking about, Yvonne, but I'm going to actually add in this link here. But really, what I was getting to is, with the difference between iPhone and Android is quite stark, and I think a lot of people kind of take sides. And so it's funny because everyone on iPhone, well, you're still going to be using Google, you're still going to be using Facebook, potentially Instagram, but everyone who's using an Android, well, you got them, right? Whether they're older or younger. And I'd say maybe I venture on a guess, and anybody above 50, if they do have a smartphone, is probably leaning towards iPhone just because the UI and the ease of use. Right, it's kind of straightforward. There's probably some folks who have Android, but again, you still capture them. So I think the product honestly is just it's pretty mind blowing. I'm gonna have to explore it a little bit more myself, because I think there is probably quite a few strategic ways to use this on your highest value leads, right? The properties that are, most prime for development or subdividing, or these leads out here that are truly seller finance that you want to buy on financing. Maybe, I don't know, do you allow for a custom copy in the ads as well?
Yeah, the ads are usually very straightforward. They're not like, think about when you go through and you click on things too. But yeah, we actually, it's part of the service. We do them for you, but we'll change them until you absolutely love them. The really important thing is to get your brand across on them. And then usually one main thing, like we buy land, or we pay cash, whatever it is that, but we'd absolutely customize that.
Cool.
Everyone's brands are unique to themselves, and everyone's ads are unique to themselves.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, folks can use this for seller finance opportunities in the market, or really anything, just triaging all of your efforts towards one market, even a market that you found a lot of success in or success in previously. I think this is the issue that a lot of people fall into, is they stop marketing to the same place and they just hop from one place to another until they get another deal where they might have found success in one area. And just because you didn't find success in that area a second time or at all doesn't mean you didn't do all the research to find out it was a great market. So it's instead of repurposing that market and just saying, well, I'll go use it another time for another reason, it's just push that back into remarketing, or even better, push it into this product where now you're dealing with these leads everywhere, pun intended.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I seem to have lost the slideshow now.
Oh, up top when you click turn screen share on, it's a little monitor looking button, second to the right. You'll have to choose that and then choose the screen with your
It says I'm not signed in.
Let's see here.
And that's all right. I can
talk through the rest. Yeah, I think either way, there's so much to take away here, and I hope that folks in this in the audience, I hope your wheels are turning in your head, because there's a lot of ways that you can apply this now. Especially, just think about the cold CRM, or the colder. They're still warm, but the colder leads in your CRM as well. The ones that have kind of died off, and you feel like I can't get a hold of them, or maybe they're just deals that have fallen through. That's money waiting to be made right there. There are folks I just know in my CRM. I have hundreds of leads that I just kind of couldn't make work at the time, whatever it might be. But retargeting within the circle of leads that you already have and we're interested in selling is also pretty amazing of an opportunity if you think about it. So I don't know if anyone's used it for that, but I think that is that's an idea right there if someone wants to jot it down.
Yeah, so the rest of the slides really we're just talking about, we kind of touched on it, that the different platforms that this covers, as far as all the Gmail platforms or Google platforms. So it also covers Gmail. It has Gmail ads. It has YouTube ads. And then it also has the Facebook, Instagram, the Meta product in there too. So you're really on all those 5 different platforms within this. We also can provide call tracking. So that's something else a service we can provide. It does have a monthly renewable, $9 charge if you keep it. That's the only thing, is if you do it through us, you want to make sure you keep it, because people keep these letters forever.
Yeah.
So you don't want to ever that's the one thing that people don't realize. They call and say, I want to cancel my call tracking number. I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
People call 6 months, 3. I've had people who've said 3 years later they've had someone call off something. So it's one thing that, if you're subscribing to a call tracking number, not necessarily with us, you just need to keep that in mind, that you want to maintain that number for a long, long time. The other thing is, a lot of people use call centers. Call tracking numbers don't always work, in my opinion, great with call centers, because when someone calls into a call tracking number, you get that legal, this is call is recorded, blah, blah, blah. Then when it rolls into your service, it's going to say it again. So kind of, I don't know. I think it's a turnoff. It would certainly be for me. So that's the only other thing is with people with want to use call tracking numbers. I always warn them that if you're using a service that has that interface, to make sure maybe there's a better answer. Maybe they can track your calls on that end, or provide you the recorded calls, because that's something. It's full. That's the other thing is all of these products are in your dashboard at Rocketprint, so you can see the results. That's a huge part of this. You'll be able to see by platform what your results are. It's going to show you how many ads have been displayed, and the big metric, how many times have they been clicked on. So you'll be able to go in there and see how it's performing for you. And we actually internally, minimum of every 3 months, we go in and make sure that it's performing how we feel it should be, and how we know when it's functioning well, it is, and we manage it for you. And if we know that for some reason all of a sudden there's been a drop in YouTube people watching, we'll put that spend over into Facebook, wherever you're getting the best results. But anyway, you'll be able to see all of that different tracking. The other thing is, when you sign up for this product, we also give you a free website critique. We don't do the changes for you, but it kind of adding on to what I said earlier about having a crappy website and it deterring people from wanting to do business. We'll look at it and we'll give you. There's some just really basic, simple things that'll make a huge difference. Like where your phone number is located. There's little things that we know that if you make those little changes, it can affect your result. So that's something else we do, is we do offer. Everyone gets it. If you want it or not, we got
an audience with 97% who have a website, at least per our poll. So that's something that everybody can benefit from. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it also looks like we have some questions in the chat, some comments too. Nicole says her dad is 80 and he's on Facebook probably too much. So I'm with you, Nicole, with my parents as well. Let's see here. Cool. Mark, can we sell on Amazon? Oh my gosh, LOL. Yeah, no, I think if we could sell land on Amazon or put ads on Amazon, I think we'd capture pretty much the entire market. People are grocery shopping on like Instacart. I think that's owned by Amazon now. But yeah, that would be amazing. I don't think so. In terms of KPIs for the website responses. So Mark's asking about like the performance of the website responses. I think the website responses are really relative. It depends. I don't know a lot of land investors who truly understand the traffic of their website. That's something that's interesting. Does Rocketprint Mail actually track that for you if you make a website with you?
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. I think that definitely we have a fully staffed department. Someone could help someone understand how to do it, because that is one of the questions we ask. If you're wanting to use the website to mailbox tool, we ask you how much traffic, and you're right. A lot of people have no idea.
Yeah. So I think understanding that, I mean, it's a quick question to ChatGPT or something of the sort. But I think that's going to be a valuable piece of detail to understand. And I think that comes with volume, right? So I think earlier someone had asked about the website when, we're actually directing it at, or I think it was Mark, you were directing folks to mail. I think the idea is that most people want to look for validity, or they want to justify that you're real. And so ideally you have your email on your letter, just as, a note of credibility. Be your number, your email, and that email has your domain name, or you actually put your website domain. Either way, though, they're usually the people who are going to go look regardless. They're going to look up your name on Google. They're going to try and figure it out, find out where you are, and that's when you kind of see them poke around, get that traffic, and then submit a web form. And I think that retargeting those folks is the valuable part of all this. Not letting them out of your sphere of influence, if you will. So, I love that. Any other questions? I'm really curious about how people might adapt this into their business. But I think with this in particular, plus Land Insights, in terms of being able to scrub for the highest quality data. You mentioned flood zone. There's also wetlands. There's road frontage. There's slope. There's landlocked. Right. There's all of these other options to scrub for, and think about the epitome of the highest quality data in the best markets with the best marketing. I mean, you're really working towards being the most advanced land investor in any given market. I think still there's always going to be room for, timing and luck to play its part, and the numbers will always help you. But adding something like this into your land business is going to take you to the next level. And I think, justifying it, I'm sure justifying it with one deal, is worth it, at least to test it and see what does this do for me, especially in maybe your best performing market. That's really exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting because we are a full service marketing company besides being, a direct mail printer and doing it all here in-house. And so I have access to a lot of different people's results, especially these that are in dashboards. And so what I find on average is the click-through rate for land is about 4 times other like markets. So if you go to house investing, if you go to, and I think there's 2 things, but the big one is that a lot of people in land aren't doing the multi-channel. They haven't caught on yet. So the ones that are doing it are getting way more action than what's average out there. So, an average house investor, wholesaler flipper, they're going to get a 4th the click-through rate that like a land will, because there aren't that many people. So when they see your ad, they're more likely to click you because they're not seeing other people's ads.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a really good angle to take, honestly. Mark also asked another interesting question. How does that integrate with a CRM, or is it standalone marketing system? I know that there's a dashboard in Rocket Print Mail. Does the team allow for exporting that data?
Yeah, we have Excels that can be exported, so you can. There's not a webhook, so we can't just connect it. But it is independent within the Rocket Print dashboard. However, all of it is you can export into Excels. Yeah. So if you want to import it into your CRM, you can.
Yeah, that sounds super easy. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, and I think that being able to put these in. So when we capture a lead through the everywhere marketing, that comes into your Rocket Print dashboard response or dashboard. Is that right? So where would you see the response? Just so we can give kind of the audience an idea of like, what's the interaction here? So we send out marketing. It gets put in front of, let's say, Deb, right? It gets put in front of Deb. Deb clicks on an ad, fills out the form. Does that information go directly to me, or does that go to my dashboard?
Yeah, so there's 2 different things with the contact forms. Those you get an automated email saying such and such just filled out a form, right?
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So with a capture form, when they're set up, because we do capture forms too, you don't have to do the automated email drips, so you can do one or the other. You don't have to do. You can do just a capture form. So that when they put their information in there, you'll give us the email you want that email to go to, but you'll get an email saying you just have a new lead, that kind of thing. With the online, like the multi-channel marketing, what you're going to be able to see is who clicked through. So who clicked through. The actual, this is where it gets a little murky, is that it's very hard to tell where the lead actually came from, right? So you got the letter out there, you got all these different things, and they work together. Really, the only way to really know that they called you because they saw that ad is because they told you, hey, I saw you on Facebook. If you ask, that's really right now how people are tracking it. Some people get very discouraged and think, oh, this isn't working, even though they're seeing these huge click-through rates. But then when they get rid of it, their results go down.
Yeah. So, no, I think that's important. And I think understanding that, it's a little bit it's new, right? So I think
Yeah.
what a lot of people have been accustomed to is being able to see their marketing channel and see every single data point straightforward and be able to track that and justify whether or not you should be spending more or less money on it over time. Whereas the everywhere marketing is kind of like the cherry on top on everything you're doing. If you're doing well on mail, adding this in is only going to just
Yeah,
really
and
push it forward.
one thing we can do for people that are very want a better way to track is we'll set up a unique landing page.
Oh.
So then you can see the traffic that was driven to that. So that would be unique, different from what you put the website on your letter. And now when those click, they go into a unique landing page, which you can see the number of visitors, but also you can see the capture forms. So you know that specifically was driven by those online ads. So for some people that really want a more unique analytic or something they can follow a little closer, we set up a landing page for it.
So out of curiosity, for someone who clicks in but does not, give you their information or reach out, do you track their information? Are we able to retarget them at that point? Someone who just maybe kind of clicks in, pokes around, and hops out, and is a part of the traffic?
Yeah, as of right now, we don't.
Okay. It sounds like we're getting there eventually, which will be exciting.
And you could always put the postcard, the web to mailbox postcard on your landing page.
That's
so
perfect.
You could do that as a touch. I know internally we do, absolutely, on our own marketing, absolutely internally. Yeah. Anyone that clicks in, we get an email only lead. So you're probably right. It's probably a next generation that's coming because we've been doing that for quite some time internally.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So we have a couple of folks asking some more questions. So what if a tracking number that responder, what if we use a tracking number that responder must give a different code number for each marketing channel? I mean, you could basically use, a tracking number, like giving people a specific identifier that when they do respond, they have to kind of give you, hey, let us know we reached out to you, through a specific code for that channel to track it. But it might not be that, easy if you're, I honestly do think it might come down to conversation on the phone, right? If you're on the phone with someone, oh, hey, thanks for calling. How did you hear about us? I think that's probably a lot less friction than asking, hey, do you have your specific code? And them going, oh, well, where's the code? Oh, it's on the ad. Oh, well, I just exited Facebook. So I would probably recommend moving probably towards just a casual ask rather than trying to track through that way and kind of make it harder, make it more high friction. There's potential for a subdomain, Mark. You could also do that where you're housing, the landing page on a subdomain of your main domain, so that you're just tracking it back. You can do that maybe 5 times, per marketing channel if you're pushing everyone towards the landing page. Someone else asked that same question: would we have 5 landing pages for 5 different marketing channels? I don't know that it would be necessary. I think what do you think, Deb? Would your team set that up so that each channel is going to a separate landing page?
No, they would all go to the same one.
Yeah.
But you will be able to see in your dashboard where the click-throughs are coming, like what the percentage of them are coming, which one they're coming from. I'm not saying it couldn't be done, but it would be very costly. And and the thing is, if you do a unique landing page, you could put a unique phone number on that landing page if they pick up the phone from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true too. Yeah. I think there's really a consensus here that as we move forward in land investing, you need to have the best tools and you need to be thinking about the next best way to accomplish something. With Land Insights, I think the beauty of it all is you're dealing with the highest quality market selection opportunities on the market. No other tool in the world can do it. The market selection Land Insights can do. On top of that, you're able to go pull the highest quality data in the same instance. And then also, as leads come in, you have the highest quality opportunity to comp those leads. You can price them with Land Insights comping tool data as well, which is really cool. We have content on that. But you're basically just in one-stop shop, right? In a one-stop shop for every aspect of marketing and getting leads and taking these leads through your funnel. And then to use something like Everywhere Marketing with Rocket Print Mail, now you're kind of stepping over some of the hurdles of, the noise in the land investing market with competition, and you're pushing yourself to the forefront of all of your leads' attention, pushing yourself just in front of everyone. And so not only are you targeting the highest quality markets, leads, and properties, but now you're doing it over and over and over again from every angle. And so put those two things together. I think this is a recipe for a very beautiful land investing business opportunity. So take note of that, folks in the chat. I think there's going to be a pretty amazing opportunity here. Now, I think one thing I just want to say is, if you have questions on the Rocket Print and Mail, like call or booking a call for a walkthrough on all of that, Deb, where's the best place to reach out to?
Yeah, so there was a slide. There was a QR code you could have opened. You can call us direct. So our number is 1-800-442-0112. The other thing is we have.
I put our landing page in the for Rocket Print Mail. I just put that in the chat. So if you want to reach out to Deb or Deb's team, highly recommend you do that. Just at least go and explore and get more information. This is absolutely something that should be top of mind as you move forward in 2025. I'll also put on our in our chat the Land Insights website. So if you haven't visited that website, go vet platform, go A to Z, and just make sure you feel like you've got all of these aspects of your business figured out. And if you don't, book a demo, walk away with free leads at the very least. And if you're convinced at that point that you can never do land investing a different way, join Land Insights. It'll change your life. So, Deb, anything else to add before we wrap up today?
Yeah, I think the only other thing is, I know we're offering, and you guys are offering some really valuable incentives. We're offering 20% off of the online tools. So if you want to add any of the online marketing, it's 20% off. And then also, if you've been on the other episodes, we have special letter pricing, and it's on that landing page that he just posted.
Yep.
And it's really great pricing because all the letters have free color bundled in them. There's just a bunch of cool things, and we're giving free QR codes that are fully trackable, all of that. So just a lot of different specials going on, just to encourage you. And you know what, we do these specials every quarter, so don't feel like, oh, I'm going to do it and then they're going to raise their rates. We offer these every quarter.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, shoot, everybody, thank you so much for joining. If you want to join Land Insights, we also have an incentive, $250 worth of credits in the platform for skip tracing, pulling data. Highly recommend you book a demo. You see what all the fuss is about. I think this is a fantastic webinar series. Deb, thank you so much for joining and just putting on this content. Thank you, everybody, for joining as well. We're going to continue the kind of the format that we have here and doing more webinar series, improving these as we go in terms of technicalities and this and that and the other. And so we'll get more accustomed to this format, but really appreciate you going through this with us. And as time goes on, this is going to be a locked up seminar. So we're not sharing this absolutely everywhere just yet. You're going to have to kind of jump through some hoops to get it if you weren't here live with us. I think that's really special as well. So you definitely can glean this information and take away from it in the meantime until a very a prolonged date in the future. So that's the leverage you have as an attendee. Deb, thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for joining. If you all have any questions, you can reach out to Deb's team. You can reach out to our team at hello@landinsights.co.
Yeah, and thank you. I mean, it was really a pleasure. And yeah, you guys need to get the demo because I was live on here, and I was just so impressed with the types of things that it's capable of doing. I don't know of another tool like it. I might be mistaken, but I really don't think there is. Yeah. So, but thank you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a great week.
If you're serious about flipping land for predictable profit and you want to plug into the exact system our students are using to close their first deal or their next 10 deals, then tap the video right here. It's a free 15-minute strategy call where we're going to pull back the curtain and show you the exact LIA system that our students are using right now. We'll show you the entire process A to Z on how you can start landing deals in the next 90 days or less. Slots tend to fill up fast. Grab your spot now. And I look forward to showing you the exact LIA land flipping playbook that I've been using for the last 6 years and that nearly 500 other LIA members have used today. Click it and I'll see you inside.